Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to the program. Now, it has been a bit, but now since I can finally focus, sort of, it's time to celebrate. So go ahead, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully this don't get blocked for too long because we've got Chuck D, Darryl McDaniels, Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, Neil Peart, Chris Cornell, Ann Wilson, Nancy Wilson, John Fogerty, Tom Morello, Gary Clark Jr., Taylor Hawkins, Dave Grohl. Hell, we've got everybody from the 2013 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's the Robert Johnson classic, Crossroads Blues. Let's do this shit, shall we?
DMC, the kings of rock. Let's rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Check it out, y'all. Eric Clapton and Cream was playing the blues. Satisfaction guaranteed when we're rocking with you. DMC and Chuck D is spreading the news. If we didn't have the blues, what the hell would we do? Robert Johnson, thank you, but you gave us your soul. We can hip to the hop, we can rock to the roll. Now we're all on stage and we're singing the blues. Got to tell all y'all the good news. Lady, I love it when they playing the blues because the blues gave birth to rock and roll. Robert Johnson, this one's for you because the blues gave birth to rock and roll. Hey, rock
down.
You know, when we say that the blues is in everything and everything is the blues, this is exactly what we've been talking about. You know, my initial reaction to the opening moments of this performance was hip-hop artists need more live bass players in the studio and in live performances. Now, of course, if your bass player happens to be Geddy Lee, well, you're really ahead of the game anyway. And that combo of Chuck D and Darryl McDaniels rapping over Geddy Lee's bass lines really set this performance off to something special. Now, some of you out there may be watching and going, Steve, just to let you know, a lot of hip-hop artists, a lot of rappers actually are using live musicians in the studios, to which I say, thank you. I don't care how good of a producer you are. Your electronic systems, no matter how good they are, will never outdo a human being on an instrument. That's it. That's the hill I'm dying on. Live people, bass players, drummers. You cannot program a rhythm section that's better than the live person. Again, hill I'm dying on. I move on. You know, all-star jams can be very tricky affairs. There's often little time to practice, and the musicians oftentimes don't know each other from a musical standpoint, if nothing else. And so it helps if you do choose a classic song, which they did, Robert Johnson's Crossroads Blues. But that also doesn't guarantee success. You can know the song, but without that practice time, that familiarity, oftentimes you just end up tripping all over each other. You kind of come in early, you come in late. It can be kind of messy. But this performance did actually come with a lot of built-in advantages. Now, of course, the first thing is that you had the entire band of Rush playing, which means that provided not just stability, but great musicianship and one of the greatest rhythm sections in music history. Plus, Alex Lifeson is probably the most underrated guitar player in history. He has never gotten his props. He can play anything. That's just it. Alex Lifeson needs his flowers. And if that's not enough, you basically had most of the Foo Fighters as well, with Taylor Hawkins and Dave Grohl also on stage, and that's just going to help you build a great performance as well. Of course, you got Gary Clark Jr., who is a blues musician, and John Fogerty, who pretty much is as well. And I really like that they put Tom Morello right in the middle of that performance, because another challenge of these all-star jams is getting the right people in the right positions. If you put too much similar people like right next to each other, it just gets kind of boring, to be honest with you. You can't just jam those things together. But with Tom coming in at the midpoint, it kind of resets the beginning, where it starts off, the blues kind of starts off as a hip-hop performance, which makes sense because Tom is basically a hip-hop metal guitar player. And he's also a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Rage Against the Machine, which is basically a hip-hop rock band. And plus, if there's ever a question, do hip-hop artists, do rap artists belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Well, I guess Tom Morello is a great person to answer that question, isn't he? And of course, Darryl McDaniels grew up on rock and roll music, as did Chuck D. Plus, Chuck is really just a walking musical encyclopedia. I think Darryl probably is as well. I've just heard Chuck talk about it more. It's really impressive to listen to Chuck talk about the history of music and just all different types of music. And of course, neither one of them are strangers to the blues or Robert Johnson or the impact that he has had on music. And even how it starts off, it's really freaking cool. Both men, they're rapping out. Eric Clapton and Cream were playing the blues. Satisfaction guaranteed when they're rocking with you. DMC and Chuck D is spreading the news. If we didn't have the blues, what the hell would we do? Done. That's probably my favorite part right there. If we didn't have the blues, what the hell would we do? Chris Cornell and Ann Wilson, my God, the vocal talent those provided. Plus, when you hear Chris, it just really makes us realize how much we miss Chris Cornell as a vocalist. The talent we lost. I mean, Nancy is always just a mind-blowing talent. When we heard Chris sing there, just the effortlessness that he puts into it. It's like the easiest thing in the world for him to do. To produce that amazing sound. Yeah, we lost a great one when we lost Chris Cornell, no question. Of course, we also lost Taylor Hawkins and the great Neil Peart as well, so kind of nice to see all those guys on stage together. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy that one. Maybe we can use this to kind of celebrate the 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Of course, I got my thoughts on that one. Don't know if I'm actually going to do a video on that or not. I am happy that Iron Maiden finally got in 25 years after they were eligible. Come on, guys. So congratulations to them and everyone else. That's all I got, man. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Drop me a note. Let me know what you're thinking. We'll see you again, my friends. Y'all take care, all right?